Bitch, you left me on my own. Ay, onto that dirty now.
Peace. What's good, guys? How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about and discuss Halloween Havoc for October the 22nd, 2022. I gotta be honest with you guys, like I always am. This show was not that good, in my opinion. I'm not saying that overall the event was bad, but overall this show could have been a lot better if we didn't have a bunch of fuck shit that went down. There were some segments on this show that we did not need at all. We could have done without. And we'll go over those. But overall, this show could have been a lot better. And it was way too many fuck-ups that we got. Way too many. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. We kicked the show off with Chucky going over the match card for the night. Then we officially kick off the show with Shotzi and Get the Fuck Off My Television, Quincy Elliott. And so they welcomed us to the show. First match of the night, which we all knew, which everyone knew would kick off the show, was the 5-way ladder match for the vacated NXT North American Championship. Nathan Frazier, Wes Lee, Carmelo Hayes, Von Wagner, and Oro Mensah. And damn, all 5 of these guys delivered. And you guys know how much I fucking despise and hate Von Wagner. Can't stand the motherfucker. But he did impress me here. He had some good spots and good showing in the match. But all 5 of these guys went out and killed it. There was a spot in the match where Robert Stone and Trick Williams, they were involved in trying to climb up the ladder. And they were doing a story where Williams was afraid of heights. And so I believe Von Wagner was able to make the save or whatever. In the end, the last 2 guys standing, it came down to Carmelo and Wes Lee. So Wes Lee, he does a Meteora from one of the ladders, taking out Carmelo. That allowed him to climb up the ladder and retrieve the vacated championship. And your new North American champion, Wes Lee. It does make sense, you know. Story can be told. Frazier also had a phenomenal fucking showing in the match as well. He was another pick of mine to win it if Wes Lee didn't win. But I'm glad that Wes Lee did win. Hopefully we can see a reuniting sometime next year with MSK. We all know that Nash Carter, he's doing work on the indies and everything else. And I think he's doing a couple of tapings with Impact, I think. So I think he'll be back in due time with WWE. I really do. But all 5 men fucking killed it in this match. All of them did, including Von Wagner. Now, we go into a segment that we do not need at all. This was a waste of time. This whole Toxic Attraction, Alba Fyre nonsense, this was 7 minutes long, and it did not need to happen at all. This was a complete and utter waste of time. We didn't need this cinematic shit. We did not. So, Toxic Attraction, they arrive at Alba Fyre's House of Horrors. So Daisy Jane, she's refusing to get out of the car. Gigi, she's super excited. They somehow made it inside. The three of them, they all split up. So Jane, she got taken out first. She was scared by one of the mummies. And then Dolan, she ran into Chucky, the horrible Chucky, modern Chucky. So she put up a fight, but she ended up in Alba's freezer. And then Rose almost took Alba down, but a creepy zombie came out and attacked her from behind. And then Danny and Dolan tried to save Rose. They crawled out to where they were, but they were hit with a baseball bat before Alba drove off with Rose. So nonsense. They didn't need to happen at all. It was a waste of time. It made zero sense. Complete fuckery. Like, I hate shit like that. Like, this went on for at least 7 minutes. And I'm just like, what are they doing? Why are they giving us this cinematic bullshit? Like, are we even going to even have the match? But this just did not need to happen at all. This was just a complete waste of everyone's time. It was. That led into our second match. Grayson Waller versus Apollo Crews. This also was another match that didn't need to happen. So basically, this match had to be restarted because Grayson Waller threw Apollo Crews into the casket. It was like one of those Darby Allin type of caskets that you see on AEW television. That broke. Waller thought that he won the match. Then the lights go out. They come back on. We see Druids. They bring in like a double wide casket. Then Waller, he continues to fight Apollo Crews. He hits his shitty stunner that I fucking hate. But Apollo was able to win via an Undertaker-like chokeslam, and he threw Waller into the casket and closed the casket door, and he won the match. Waste of time. People completely shat on it on social media, but it just didn't make any sense. I feel bad for Apollo. Apollo's been there for 4 months. You know, he doesn't need this type of character or gimmick anymore. Shawn Michaels and his team need to really go back to the drawing board and figure out a type of cool gimmick for Apollo to have. Apollo, honestly, to me, is too talented to be back in NXT. He needs to be on the main roster. If he's not going after Bron Breakker, then what's he doing? Seriously. They've got to build this man up to be Bron Breakker's next challenger. They really do. Moving on. Oh, and they also did Undertaker gestures, and they did tombstones and stuff in the match as well. I didn't like that either. Did not. So Duke Hudson. He's now the newest member of Chase University. So he replaced Bodie as Chase's favorite. Bodie tried to tell Chase that Hudson was not to be trusted, but Andre wanted to give Duke a fair shot. So this is kind of interesting. This gives Duke Hudson something to do. It's interesting, I guess, but we just didn't need it at all. So there's that, I guess. Pretty Deadly, they were backstage, hyping up their match against Edris Inoue and Malik Blade. They were interrupted by KC Squared, Caden Carter, and Katana Chance. They came out and talked trash to the tag champs. So they're hyping up Tag Title Tuesday. I hope that we don't see a main event involving. I don't want the tag titles to main event the show at all. In my opinion, I think we don't need it. You can easily do the women's tag titles first to kick off the show, and then like at the start of the second hour, you can do Pretty Deadly versus NFA and Malik Blade. All right. Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. Weapons Wild match. This is WWE's fancy way of saying Extreme Rules. This match was okay. Jade is still green as fuck in the ring. Roxanne is decent. They told a good story here all throughout the match. So they're brawling on what is called the Raven's Nest, that thing that we see all the time every Tuesday. And Cora slams Perez. Then Perez and Cora, they're trading blows. And so Perez is looking to do the final blow. But for whatever reason, she fucking hesitates. And she gives a very weak, like, belly-to-belly suplex. And they crash through some tables and some crash land padding. It didn't look good at all. I fucking hated it. They should have never done the spot at all. It just didn't make any sense. In the end, Roxanne, she wins via the pop rocks on a bunch of chairs. So they're now 1-1. I'm pretty sure the feud will probably conclude either at the next Premium Live event, which is the same day as Ring of Honor on December 10th, or they could wait and do it at New Year's Evil. I don't know. But the feud is still going to continue. It's not over. They're 1-1. So there's that. Another bullshit segment that we didn't need at all. Oh my God. Shawn Michaels, man. What the fuck are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing, Shawn? Damn. All right. So Shotzi, she's out there dressed as Beetlejuice. Cool. Nice. Then we see fucking get off my screen, get off my TV, Quincy Elliott. Oh my God. So they were out there one more time to hype up the show. They were interrupted by Lash Legend. She came out. She complained about him. Lash called Shotzi the Green Goblin before saying that she would have done it better, talking about being the host. No, you wouldn't have. Lash Legend is another person that needs to get the fuck off my TV and join Housewives of Atlanta or some shit like that. Get the fuck off my TV. So Quincy fired back. He took a really good stab at her on the mic. Said that she's horrible on the fucking mic, which I agree with. That's the only thing I agree with Quincy on. And so Shotzi, she came in with a headbutt, and she took out Lash Legend, and then she cleared the ring. Another useless segment that we didn't need at all, period. Thankfully, it was just 2 segments of this shit. We only had the opening segment and this segment right here. Next, Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp. This match was fun. It was hard-hitting. I liked it. They brought out a lot. There were chairs involved. Kemp, he got thrown into the ring corner via a wheelchair a few times. That was pretty cool. Steel steps were involved in this. This was a great match. There was one time where I thought that Damon might have won when he got Julius into I want to say a trash can bin that was, and he slammed him into the ambulance 3 times. He put him in the ambulance. He smashed Julius' hands like 3 times in a row, and Julius was still able to break free. So basically, the ending was Julius, he powerbombed Kemp into the stretcher. He picked him up with one hand, and he put him into the ambulance and slammed the door. And Julius wins. So this makes sense. I'm glad. Hopefully this feud is over with. It should be. I don't know where Damon Kemp goes from here. I really don't. I really don't know what's next for the Creed brothers. I don't know what's next. They've been champions before. I don't want them on the main roster just yet, because you can't just call up, a good tag team. NXT has been deprived of decent tag teams. We don't have any outside of the Creeds, Gallus, Pretty Deadly, Malik Blade, and Idris Inoue, and I think that's it. So we need to keep them there. Next, Mandy Rose versus Alba Fyre for the NXT Women's Championship. This was a short match. It needed to happen anyway. I know people were fucking pissed online about it. Who gives a fuck? Mandy Rose is not going to give you guys, you geeks, you clowns, a 20-minute classic. It's not going to happen. That's not Mandy's style. That's not her style. Maybe Alba Fyre will give you that, but not Mandy Rose. So, towards the end of the match, Alba Fyre, she hit the gory bomb, and the ref was about to count 3. Out of nowhere, we see JC Jane and Gigi Jolin. They literally pull the ref out, and I thought, okay, why wouldn't the ref just DQ them? Isn't that a disqualification? It makes no sense. So the match continued. Mandy, she distracted the ref. That allowed the rest of Toxic to beat down Alba Fyre. They do like a double big boot, and they throw Alba back into the ring, and she eats the Kiss of the Rose for the 1, 2, 3. And Mandy Rose is still champion, which is great. And next Wednesday, she'll be champion officially for 1 full year, which is great. I still think that we're going to have Nikita Lyons be the one to dethrone Mandy Rose. And I think once Mandy and the rest of Toxic are on the main roster, this is just me putting out here in the universe. This is just me thinking. I do think that the next big 4 women that they're going to use, the next 4 horsewomen are going to be Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Nikita Lyons, Tiffany Stratton. They're all in the same age bracket. They're all in their early 20s, and they're all in a sense sort of kind of over. Tiffany is a great heel. Cora Jade is a great heel, and both Roxanne Perez and Nikita Lyons are super over mega baby faces. So I think that's going to be what the division is going to be around. It's going to stem around those 4 women. So that's just my whole take. Then we had a Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. They were out there. They were talking to Pretty Deadly. No, they were talking to Blade and Inoue, saying that they're going to walk out as champions. Both of them are. So, not going to happen, though. Main event. This was fucking tremendous. I love this. I love this main event. This main event was fucking badass. Hats off to all 3 guys involved. It was cool how Bron came out. So he had a tombstone for both Ilya and JD McDonough, and so he shoveled both their names with the shovel. He destroyed both their names. But the match was fucking great. I love this thing. This thing was hard hitting. It's hard to say who was the MVP in this match because everyone played their parts beautifully. There were times where I thought JD may have won. There were times that I thought that Ilya was going to win. So towards the end of the match, Ilya was beating the shit out of McDonough. And so him and Bron were able to finally face off each other one-on-one. So Ilya, he starts running on Bron and beating him down with these nasty-ass fucking elbows of his. He gets into the corner. He pans the crowd. He hits torpedo fucking Moscow. The ref counts 1, 2. Out of nowhere, JD comes in and he just holds the referee's arm so he couldn't count to a 3. That was fucking awesome. I loved it. In the end, Bron Breakker was able to retain via a spear to Dragunov for the 1, 2, 3. And I thought they were going to have Austin Theory cash in. I'm so glad they didn't. So we go out the air with Bron Breakker being the new... we go out the air with Bron Breakker retaining his championship, which makes sense. Okay. So I know a lot of people are complaining that Bron has been kind of stale. Him and Mandy's run as champion, those two in particular have been stale. Not really. The problem with Bron is that Bron, ever since his feud with Gacy, he's not had a character to interact with and to bring more out of his character. He's been doing work rate shit for the last 3 months. You know, with the stuff with Tyler Bate, the whole Worlds Collide stuff, doing stuff with JD, now bringing Ilya into the mix. So there's no way that his character can develop and improve. I'm guessing since Carmelo Hayes lost, it's time for Carmelo Hayes to be the one to take out Bron. And it makes sense. You could make a point for D'Angelo, but he's been down the card for a minute. Same with Grayson Waller, same thing. Same thing with Apollo Crews. So with those 3 individuals kind of stuck in the fucking mid-card right now, the only main event guy is Carmelo Hayes. And I do think that it would make sense for Bron to lose to Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, in my opinion, he's not ready for the main roster. He's just not. And I know people have said that, saying, oh, he's ready. He's ready, but I would much rather have him be NXT champion for a bit and then go to the main roster, him and Trick Williams. But as of right now, no. There's still too much left to be done for him in NXT. Seriously. But I'm glad Breakker retained. Hopefully we are done with this Apollo Crews character. Hopefully Shawn Michaels will go back to the drawing board with Apollo Crews. I know Nakamura is supposed to be doing a couple of tapings with NXT. That should be interesting. But overall, man, Halloween Havoc was okay, to say the very least. It could have been better. We didn't need the Shotzi stuff. We didn't need the cinematic match nonsense with Toxic Attraction and Alba Fyre. We didn't need that. We didn't really need a casket match. The only reason we got that was because of it being Halloween. Who cares? We really should have got more of either a no DQ match, maybe even like a last man standings match, something like that. I don't know, but we didn't need that. Overall, the show was all right. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Everybody hides their heroin, trying to find a